What would you do if the one person you trusted the most suddenly became the reason your life fell apart? Because that's exactly what happened to me. And the worst part? The person who betrayed me was my own sister. Growing up, my sister and I were almost inseparable. We did everything together. Same school, same friends, same family dinners every night. People always said we looked out for each other. But behind the smiles, there was always something else between us. Competition. Who got better grades? Who was more popular? Who our parents praised more? It was like we were always quietly trying to win. Still, despite all that, I believed one thing for sure. I could trust her. At least, that's what I thought. During my junior year of high school, things started going really badly for me. My grades dropped. I felt stressed all the time. Some days I didn't even want to go to school. I was embarrassed. I didn't want my parents to know. They had always expected me to be the smart one, and I didn't want to disappoint them. So one night, I told my sister everything. I remember sitting on the floor of her room, talking for almost an hour. I told her how overwhelmed I felt. How I thought I was failing at everything. She listened quietly. She nodded. And before I left her room, she promised me something. "Don't worry," she said. "Your secret is safe with me." For the first time in weeks, I felt a little better. But the next evening, something strange happened. My parents called me into the living room. They were both sitting there, serious. My mom folded her arms. My dad looked disappointed. And then my mom said something that made my stomach drop. "We need to talk about your grades." My heart started pounding. Because there was only one person who knew about that. My sister. And the moment I looked at her sitting quietly on the couch, I knew exactly what she had done. But what she said next. That was the moment everything between us changed forever. And what I did after that almost tore our family apart. But trust me, this was only the beginning. The moment I realized she betrayed me. The second my mom mentioned my grades, my stomach dropped. I slowly turned my head toward my sister. She was sitting on the couch, scrolling on her phone, like nothing was happening. That's when I knew. She told them. My dad started talking about my missing assignments. My mom asked why I hadn't said anything sooner. They already knew everything, even details I had only told one person. My sister. I felt my chest getting tight. My face was burning. Finally, I interrupted them. "Who told you that?" The room went quiet. My parents looked at each other. Then my mom sighed and said something that confirmed my worst fear. "Your sister was worried about you." I slowly looked at her. She finally looked up from her phone and shrugged. Shrugged. Like it was nothing. Like she didn't just break the biggest promise she had ever made to me. I couldn't believe it. "You promised you wouldn't tell them," I said. She rolled her eyes. "Oh, relax," she said. "It's not a big deal." Not a big deal? My parents started lecturing me again, but I barely heard them. My mind was stuck on what she just said. Not a big deal. I trusted her with something I was ashamed of. Something I was struggling with, and she just handed it to our parents like it was gossip. The lecture lasted almost an hour. By the end of it, I was grounded. No phone. No hanging out with friends. No gaming. But the punishment wasn't the part that hurt the most. It was the way my sister acted afterward. Later that night, I confronted her in the hallway. "Why would you do that?" I asked. She laughed. Actually laughed. "You're being dramatic," she said. Mom and Dad deserved to know. That laugh stayed in my head for days. Every time I saw her, I remembered it. Every time she joked with our parents at dinner, every time she acted like the perfect daughter, it made my blood boil. That's when something inside me changed. At first, I tried to ignore it. I told myself to move on. But the more I thought about it, the more I realized something. My sister didn't just betray me. She embarrassed me. She made me look weak. And the worst part? She thought she got away with it. That's when the idea first entered my mind. What if, for once, she was the one who got exposed? At first, it was just a small thought. But over the next few weeks, that thought slowly turned into a plan. A plan that would hit her exactly where it hurt the most. And when she finally realized what I had done, her reaction was something I will never forget. The plan that changed everything. At first, the idea of getting revenge felt crazy. But the more I thought about what my sister did, the less crazy it seemed. Every time I remembered her laughing at me in the hallway, something inside me burned. She broke my trust. She embarrassed me. And she acted like it meant nothing. So one night, lying in bed, staring at the ceiling, I made a decision. If she thought exposing my secret was funny, then maybe it was time for her secrets to come out too. The plan didn't happen overnight. I spent weeks watching, listening, paying attention. And slowly, I started noticing things. My sister wasn't as perfect as she pretended to be. Not even close. Late-night phone calls she tried to hide. Messages she quickly closed when someone walked by. And one day, I saw something that changed everything. She left her laptop open. At first, I wasn't even planning to look. But curiosity won. And what I found shocked me. Messages. Dozens of them. She had been lying to our parents about where she was going after school. She had been skipping study groups and sneaking out with friends she wasn't supposed to see. Some messages even talked about parties she told our parents she never went to. Suddenly, the perfect daughter image started cracking. I took screenshots. Not just one. Not two. Dozens. My hands were shaking while I did it. Part of me knew I should stop. But another part of me kept remembering her voice. You're being dramatic. So I kept going. Over the next few days, I quietly gathered more proof. Pictures. Messages. Even a voice recording I accidentally caught when she was talking to a friend. The more I collected, the more nervous I became. Because now the plan was real. All I had to do was show our parents. But the night I finally decided to do it, something strange happened. For a moment, I hesitated. My finger hovered over the send button. Because once I did this, there was no going back. But then I remembered that night in the living room. The disappointment in my parents' faces. Her laugh in the hallway. And suddenly the hesitation disappeared. I pressed send. Within seconds, my parents' phones buzzed. At first, the house was quiet. Too quiet. Then I heard my mom's voice from the kitchen. Wait, what is this? My dad sounded confused. Where did these come from? And then, I heard my sister's bedroom door open. Footsteps rushed down the hallway. Her voice sounded panicked. What are you looking at? A few seconds later, I heard something crash. And when my sister realized who sent those messages, the look on her face was something I will never forget. But what happened next? That's when the entire situation exploded, and our family nearly fell apart. The night everything exploded. The moment my parents finished reading the messages, the house went silent. Then my mom called out, loud and sharp. Everyone come to the living room. Right now. My heart started pounding. I walked in slowly. My sister came in a few seconds later. She looked confused at first, but the second she saw our parents' faces, her expression changed. My dad was holding his phone. My mom looked furious. "Do you want to explain this?" my dad asked. He turned the phone around and showed her the screenshots. For a moment, my sister just stared. Her face went pale. "What? What is that?" she said nervously. My mom crossed her arms. "You tell us." My sister started shaking her head quickly. "Those aren't real. Someone must have faked them." Then my dad asked the question that changed everything. "Then why did they come from your brother?" The room froze. Slowly, my sister turned her head and looked at me. And the second she realized what I had done, she completely lost it. "You did this," she screamed. She started yelling so loudly the whole house echoed. She called me a traitor. A snake. She said I invaded her privacy. The same sister who laughed when she exposed my secret. Now she was furious that her secrets were out. Our parents tried to calm her down, but she wouldn't stop. "You ruined everything," she shouted. But then something unexpected happened. My mom looked at both of us and said something that made the room go quiet again. "Both of you betrayed each other." That sentence hit harder than I expected. My sister stopped yelling. I stopped smiling. Because suddenly, the victory didn't feel like a victory anymore. Yes, I got my revenge. Yes, she finally felt what betrayal felt like. But looking at my parents' disappointed faces, and seeing how broken the room felt, something inside me sank. This wasn't satisfying. It was just empty. That night, both of us got grounded. Our parents were angry, hurt, and exhausted from the drama. And my relationship with my sister? It was worse than ever. But weeks later, I realized something important. Revenge might feel powerful in the moment. But most of the time, it just creates more damage. Trust is easy to break. And once it's broken, fixing it is a lot harder than getting revenge. So now I want to ask you something. If you were in my position, would you have done the same thing? Or would you have handled it differently? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoy intense story videos like this one, make sure to subscribe, because the next story might be even crazier.